First off, I gotta tell you, I am so pumped up to be here. God, I'm fired up to be around you guys today. This event that we caught hold of I guess over a year ago now, was set in motion by Frank McCourt. Hired Peter Abraham and Russ Miller here to get this thing cranked up. And they had an idea of doing something very, very unique. And as they talked about it, and with my colleague Yogi Roth here, who's been so connected to the whole event, they talked to us about doing something really special, something that kind of, that maybe LA can't even anticipate handling. And as they talked, we just started to come together. Because with our thought, as a philosophy of Win Forever, one of the guidelines of our whole thinking is you want to do things better than it's ever been done before in everything you're doing. And this is exactly what they have done. In 2 years' time, Frank took over 2 years ago, they got things rolling, got underway, and then 1 year after that, they've got a crowd that they're turning away thousands of runners that want to be part of this marvelous event. 25,000 people are running, and there's probably another 5 or 8 or 10,000 that would have gotten involved if they could have. They've already got it going better than it's ever been done before. So to be a part of this kind of an effort, knowing that it does so much to connect with the community, as well as challenge all of you runners that are going to be part of it, I'm thrilled to be here, and I'm pumped up about it. So with that, I'm going to talk to the runners. And I know there's others that are connected to the runners, and some of you have run before, and all of you have competed at one time or another, but to me, this is the night before the big game. This is the night before the big race, the marathon, and man, am I happy to be here and fired up to talk to you tonight. Now, I don't know if you know this, but if you've thought of it this way, but you are up, runners, against one of the great challenges of all time. You're going head-to-head with maybe your all-time greatest opponent. One that knows you so well, one that knows everything there is to know about you, and one that can make or break you, one that has trash-talked you probably more than you would like to admit, knows what's going to happen tomorrow, maybe, is going to be right there in your mug the whole race. It's you. You're up against you tomorrow. You're up against that voice in the back of your head that's been talking to you all those times you've been competing, all those hundreds of hours that you've been running, those hundreds of hours in road work that you've been putting forth to get yourself ready for this, and keeps talking at you. Oh, you ain't got it today. Oh, you better take it in. That's far enough. Let's go back. Let's turn now. It's you. We need to deal with you before we're done here tonight, so we can get you right. It's a marvelous challenge that you've undertaken. Somewhere along the way, every one of the runners said, in a moment, I'm going to run the LA Marathon. And then everything kicked into gear, and you started preparing. Once you made that thought, that commitment to yourself known, now you're in. And you know what it's taken to get here. You know how hard you've worked, how many mornings you had to get up to that alarm, maybe for a lot of you when it's dark, before you go to work, you tie on those shoes and here you go, you get out on the road and start hitting it, or you're doing it late at night after you get back from work, and you're finding a way to get yourself in that mindset that it takes to get yourself ready. I mean, this is months and months and months of preparation for most of you. I'm so thrilled to be around that kind of commitment. I'm so proud to be around the guys and the men and women that are doing that, not just for the first timers, but for those that have come back time and time again and continue to do this and meet this challenge. God, I just love being with you tonight. And it ain't going to be easy. Now, the vision, they hoped from the stadium to the ocean was going to be kind of classy and got something about it that's going to draw you, but when you're running those miles and you can't see the ocean, it's a long way getting here. But it's here. It's waiting for you. That big splash if you do it right, if you're going to do it right, you got to get in the water when you get here. But don't go in too deep. Because you're just going to climb back up in that sand, lay in that sand, and feel it. Exhausted. You spent it all. Absolutely satisfied. Wow, what a moment it is. It's extraordinary. I'm so proud to be part of you tonight. And I'm hoping that along the way, that as you're running, I want you to utilize this little voice that's in your head to help you, not to work against you tomorrow. It's going to be talking at you. It's going to be talking about your feet. I'm talking about those thighs and the pounding in your knees and your lower back and all that. And then you're going to look alongside, you're going to see somebody that's hurting a little more than you. You're not running by yourself tomorrow. There's 25,000 people out there. You're running with a bunch of people that have been inspired to do what you're going to do. Feed off of them. Draw from their energy. Use their energy that they're bringing as well, and feed them too with your efforts. What a marvelous, marvelous event this is. I'm hoping that somewhere along there you get that feeling, that I'm starting to feel it now. I'm starting to feel okay. I can sense I'm going to make this the way I've set out to do it. Because tomorrow, you're going to be warriors. A warrior doesn't know when he enters the battlefield whether he's going to make it or not. He doesn't know the results, just like you don't either. You don't know how fast you're going to run. You don't know what it's going to be like. You're just going to go for it, and you're going to have to wait and see. But the warrior isn't worried about that. He knows he's going to compete. He knows he's going to battle. He's stepping across that line to start the race, to enter the arena, to enter the battlefield, just like you are. It's no different. Not knowing what's happening, not knowing what's going to come your way. But he does it because he's a warrior, and that's all he knows. And in the commitment that you've made, in the effort to do this, you have also joined that rank. You're a warrior in this thing tomorrow. That's why I'm so fired up to be a part of you and to be around you. Now, the reason that's important to acknowledge is because you need to take that with you as you run. You need to be proud of yourself. You've already won because you've gone through the time with the commitment and you've met the challenges of the process of getting here, so that when you do cross that line and you kick this thing into high gear, you've already won. Now you celebrate the day. You celebrate all of that time with running this race tomorrow. And see how far you go and how fast you run. I think it's awesome. God, I'm so excited for you. I'm so pumped up because every one of you have just made a lifetime's moment for yourself. You're going to remember this the rest of your life. And even the time building up that was so memorable will always be capsulized by this day. So here's what I want to make sure you do. I want you to feel the good feelings about what you've put forth to get here. And stay with that as you run. And use that as you feel yourself going through the challenges. And when you get to the hill over there by the university, and you feel yourself working it. I want you to feel the good stuff that's made you get to this point. And let it fill you up. And feel it. And keep feeling it until you get down, we're starting to go downhill. And so you start to smell the salt water. And you can feel it. The ocean's right there. Marvelous, marvelous feeling of accomplishment. You're all going to get the chance to do that. No matter what it takes, get to this freaking ocean. You've got to get there. You know what I'm talking? You've got to get here. I don't care how long it takes, or who's got to pull you along, or whatever it is, you've got to get here. Because you've earned it. You deserve it. You're all worthy of that. A few years ago, I'll tell you one little story. Night before a game, we were playing in Jacksonville. I was at New England at the time. The night before the game, like tonight, is always a big deal to me. It's a big deal because it's the culmination of all the preparation that goes in to get to the big event that you've been just pointing towards. And I want to make sure that our minds are right as we enter the arena in the event. I want to make sure everybody's together, as tight as can be, so that we can maximize and do everything we want to do with this moment. So here it was a huge Saturday night. Check that. A huge Saturday night. Was in the NFL then. Played on Sundays. And I wanted to do something just right to kind of capture the feeling of the night. So as I got ready, got prepared to go into the meeting, we get in those little closed rooms, it's just the players and the coaches, and that's all it is. And it's kind of intense, and everybody's kind of ready to kind of get juiced up one more time. I thought about talking about peak experiences, peak moments. And to do that, I wanted to ask the crowd, and I'm asking you right now, I want you to think of a time in your sporting life. Most likely, it could have been otherwise. You may have been one of those great musicians or a great artist or a performer on the stage or whatever, when things went exactly right. When you felt that you're most powerful, and everything seemed to come together. And there was those wonderful instants that you can recall so clearly and so perfectly because it was just one of those times. I want you to think about that. I did that with the football team. And I happen to know that Lawyer Malloy, our strong safety, had thrown a perfect game when he was in high school, in baseball, as a pitcher. So I kind of found that out before I talked that night. So does anybody did a pitcher in baseball? And Throw me, maybe a no-hit or something. The lawyer couldn't wait to raise his hand to get up.